Hey everybody, just wanted to take a quick few minutes just to talk about how to start a painting, and every painting really starts with seeing properly and seeing a scene properly. And I'm learning this stuff as a relative newbie to landscape painting, particularly plein air, and it's actually one of the most critical and one of the most difficult aspects of painting. Is actually seeing a scene properly in a way that allows you to do a couple of things. One, simplify to the point where you could create an effective design and an effective painting. Two, understand the difference between what it is you want to leave in the scene and what it is that you want to take out of the scene in order to have a good outcome and have a decent painting that you'd like to actually hang on your own wall if you had to. And then another key element of seeing is actually figuring out how to orient the scene to your surface, your canvas, and that really comes part and parcel with design as well. So what I'm going to talk about now is actually seeing a scene in a way that allows you to identify the big shapes in the scene. Now, what I've learned is that a good rule, if you will, to kind of tether to when going through this process of identifying your composition and the scene, the elements of the scene that you're going to keep in your painting, is to try to envision the scene in a way where you can identify not only just the big shapes that actually build the scene, but also try to find scenes that have anywhere from 3 to 7 big shapes within them. It really has been something that has helped me, I think, figure out how to take those initial steps in my own painting journey and make some improvements very quickly and have a higher rate of really good outcomes, versus complete failures, which, failure in the end is not a bad thing, because we tend to learn a lot. When we have a failure or a mess up, there's always something to learn. So it's not the end of the world. But if you want to increase your chances of having a successful outcome when painting, again, look for scenes where you can identify 3 to 7 big shapes. If you have more than that, the scene might be a little too complex, and you might want to maybe pan out or pan in or shift your viewfinder if you're using it, or if you're using your hands, or if you're just painting off of sight. And you could work this out on a sketch pad beforehand. But what I'm going to do is share my screen and just take you through how it is that I looked at a particular scene when constructing this painting, which is called Blue Mountain Lake Stream at Sunrise in November. And you can see here, this scene in reality was quite complex. There was a flowing runoff stream. There's a dam. There were multiple shrubs and trees and rows of them. There's grass. There are rocks throughout all of this. You had the line of trees across the lake. You had branches of a tree that's kind of off screen. You had lots of little shapes going on in the clouds, during sunrise, and you had a little bit of a ridge here. So, but what I had to force myself to do was to really simplify. It really helped me construct what I feel was the best work that I could do when creating this painting at that particular time. And what I did was, if I can real quick, I'll see if I can use some of my drawing tools here to, here we go. Pick red. I'm going to draw some lines. And again, this really boils down to when you start designing your painting, which is really one of the first steps, one of the 7 principles. You start with design before you paint. You want to have a scene that you can clearly see, imagine, and envision on a canvas as a finished painting. And I was able to do that here. And this is nothing that it's not a novel idea. Whether you read books like A Composition of Outdoor Painting by Edgar Payne, which is a book that I'm working my way through now, or you listen to online or instruction, from various people, they're going to talk about this. And what I was able to do here was break this up into just a couple of shapes. So I'll show you how mentally I went about creating this composition before I started painting, I basically took, in my mind's eye, the grass field and hill and had that as one shape. The stream, which is really nothing more than a runoff stream, as another shape. This mass of trees and shrubs and bushes as another shape. The background as another shape, and then the sky. So when I was building the composition and thinking about this, I identified this scene and panned out and zoomed in until I can get some simple basic shapes that I can see. And if you look at it, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5 basic shapes. I look at this as 5. You can argue that this is a separate 6th. And again, so that's within that realm of, for a smaller painting like this, it's 11 by 14 in particular, 3 to 7 basic large shapes consisting of the composition. And to take this a step further, again, the composition of Outdoor Painting by Edgar Payne, and I think he's widely known in this book as being, probably does the best job of simplifying the different types of composition styles that are psychologically attractive to a viewer. You can make the argument that this is a zigzag or S design stem, just by virtue of the lines running this way, which naturally creates interest for the viewer and draws your eye throughout the painting, thus allowing the viewer to be drawn in and absorb the other interesting things going on, texture, color, so on and so forth. So, just some quick thoughts on design. And again, it really starts with seeing and looking for an appropriate composition that you can simplify and envision on a canvas before you even get started. So just some quick thoughts for you, and hopefully you find this helpful. If you do, please like the video. Feel free to share it. I'm going to post this on Patreon behind the paywall, if you will. So it's exclusive for a period of time, just for my Patreon members, and then after a certain amount of time, it'll be free for all viewers. So hopefully you find it helpful. And I know some of the folks that I've helped get started with painting saw this exercise is particularly useful. It's not something that we tend to think about. We see a scene, it's beautiful, it's inspiring, we want to draw it. This is a step that's commonly missed. I know I did in the past, and it's led to some challenges that I could have easily avoided. So hopefully it helps you as well. Take care. And thanks for watching.